we'll be hanging around. We're not going anywhere. We're going to make sure Iran complies with this ceasefire and then ultimately comes to the table and makes a deal. So we'll stay put, stay ready, stay vigilant. As the chairman laid out, our troops are prepared to defend, prepared to go on offense, prepared to restart at a moment's notice with whatever target package would be needed in order to ensure that Iran complies. As far as the Strait, you saw the initial agreement that was struck, which is Iran's letting ships go through. So there'll be that will be happening. They will be sailing.
Pardon my ignorance. What is the disease you described? The other one, rickettsia.
So it's a rickettsia. It is the same organism that causes Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and that's the most deadly tick-borne disease in the United States. It also was a germ that was being weaponized by the U.S. military at the time, and they tried to stuff it in ticks. I mean, so what is tick weaponization? So in the interviews with Willie, what he said was, I spent over a decade in the biological weapons program, a contractor to Fort Detrick, working on weaponizing fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, trying to mass produce them, stuffing fleas with the plague, stuffing mosquitoes with deadly Trinidad virus, and then stuffing ticks with either deadly or incapacitating diseases like relapsing fever, Venezuelan equine encephalitis, rabies, leptospirosis, which is another spirochete. So it's just like Dr. Strangelove trying to make new diseases, mixing bacteria and virus in ticks with the intent of this is the perfect stealth weapon.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here, another episode of Scriptures in Wallstreet. I appreciate you tuning in, and want to give a shout out to all of our new audio listeners on Apple Podcasts and other audio platforms. Just wanted to say thanks for tuning in for another episode of Scriptures in Wallstreet. I'm your host, Carlos Cortez. Been doing this for 5 years now, Scriptures in Wallstreet. What we do here is we simply talk about current events. We also talk about some markets. For those of you listening on audio, it's hard to see charts, but I implore you to check us out on the video side on Rumble, YouTube. Spotify is also audio on YouTube and Rumble. You can see the video side of things. And we look forward into having you on. Definitely click and like our channel on all platforms, Scriptures in Wallstreet. You can just search it. And if anything I say today resonates with you, you can give us a call, 813-448-3446, or simply visit cortezwm.com. If you are interested in just protecting a portion of your money from things like the current market environment that we all know that is going on right now. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of fear-mongering news, and there's, more importantly, uncertainty. And a lot of clients just call us just to protect a portion of their portfolio. We are open for business for that. Of course, I am not giving investment advice on this platform, or nor do I ever do on a podcast. So everything on this podcast is meant for information and education purposes only. If you would like advice, give us a call, 813-448-3446. You can also download a guide at americafirstretirementplan.com and find out more information about our strategies, the color of money. They're also, the Color of Money podcast will be on the description. If you haven't had a chance, before you even try to engage with us, definitely take a look at the Color of Money podcast. It would educate you on our whole process, on what we believe when it comes to red, green, and yellow. And for those of you that just tuning in, because we have thousands of new listeners, red money is going to be a bucket of money that simply has unlimited losses and limited gains. This is Typically, you'll find stocks, equities, crypto, precious metals, real estate, anything that goes up and down in value that has a ticker that does not offer any type of principal protection. You are the risk, you are the market, and you're responsible for all the risk that you take there. This is going to be red money. Unfortunately, precious metals falls into red money. Do not think that your precious metals is protected. I know you think possibly you were told that the dollar is going to crash like forever. Like, if that's the case, then why do you live in America? If you believe the dollar is going to crash to zero, then it's almost anti-American. You want the dollar to go up so you can actually buy something with it. Now, we all understand as they print more money, that dollar will weaken and we become less of a force more than anything. However, I want you to understand that the main thing about red money, it is manipulated. Now, the question you should be asking yourself, am I okay with the manipulation? How do I profit from a manipulation? What investments are anti-manipulated? Or where in my portfolio do I have a hedge against the manipulation? These are basic questions going into 2026, already almost halfway through the whole year. Can you believe that? That's nuts. You have to start thinking strategically. You can no longer be the old guy, the old money, leave money in the bank, leave money in bonds, leave money in precious metals. I've told you time in and time out, this is lazy assets and you get lazy returns. And the Bible says what? The Bible says the passive will pay the penalty. The passive will pay the penalty. So be proactive. And that's what we're going to offer here. We're going to show you, of course, in the education standpoint, how you can be proactive in this ceasefire dilemma in 2026, why it's so important to understand that the retirement planning game is a long-term game. But in reality, if you can just keep up with inflation, which is a hard task lately, and not lose money, you're going to be coming ahead. And so thus we entered the green money bucket conversation. Green money is going to be unlimited gains depending on what type of contract that you have, and no losses because like I said, you have a contract. This is an insurance contract. It's not life insurance. This is a principal protected account, a fixed account that you can put a portion of your money as a bond alternative. Meanwhile, if you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. All the people that bought bonds are getting their butts kicked from 2022 all the way to 2024. You got smacked. Interest rates were going up. Now the bond market's rallying just a hair as it uninverted because that 10-year treasury finally is paying a little more than that 2-year treasury. For a long time, that yield curve was inverted, the longest inversion of American history since 1950. So the uninversion, if you've been following me for a long time, a while now, I've been talking about the uninversion back in 2007, back in 1999, we had 01. In 2007, we had 2008. In 2007, 2006, the yield curve uninverted from the 10-year to 2-year. Also, we had in 2018, interest rates did what? Yes, they actually got uninverted in 2007, and then we had a 2008. 2025, we had an uninversion of the yield curve. And here we are in 2026. Look what is happening. And I don't think we've seen it at all. Guys, what I'm getting at is the fact that this Iranian war is the ceasefire that just happened this week. I'm recording this on the day that Trump just posted about it. So we're going to see the aftermaths. We're going to see the aftermaths. We're going to see some reliefs. Oil prices are going to come down. Stock market goes back up. And people are going to get hyped up into it only to get the rug pulled on them again. This is how it goes. And you know what? It's not just me discerning it or me, some guru. No, the Bible, 1 Thessalonians 5:3 says, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. It is biblical that this fresh breath of relief that we're getting in the stock market right now, and the market's not even open right now. I'm just saying it's the futures are going to be up. Silver is going to be up. Crude oil is going to come down. People are going to be like, yeah, we're going to get back in the market. You're going to see all the bro investors just dump right in only for it to go down. So one of the shot calls I'm making is that the shorting of the S&P 500 might be a really good buy very, very soon as the stock market goes back up, because the volatility index and the shorts like SQQQ and SPXL and VIXI and UVIX are going to do very well when we get closer to this another 2-week debacle again, because I don't think this is going to get solved. But also, we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems with inflation. We have a lot of problems with the economy. Not just crude oil, man. We have a crap ton of problems. We still have commercial real estate. We still have a precious metals issue with silver. The demand is terrible. And we're on the verge of printing more money or not printing money. The Fed doesn't even know what they're doing. The dollar is pumping back up after a crazy, crazy decline the past 3 years. And now we're starting to see silver come down because the dollar is going up. Of course, don't take my word for it. We're going to look at the charts. But what is so beautiful about this is that you literally can hire somebody. You don't have to navigate all this by yourself. We are here to help. We're here to hold your hand. Cortez Wealth Management, been doing this for over 20 years as an independent fiduciary. And man, do I love what I do for a living. I love helping you guys out. You guys speak the same language. It is so important to have an advisor that believes in what you believe in. It's so important to have the ability to just talk like you would at a brother at your church or a family member with no judgment. And then build a portfolio around those things that you honor and build a portfolio on your concerns as well as your investment objectives. No longer is a day that, hey, we're just going to buy silver and some stocks and call it a day. Guys, that's not the most prudent way. We also have yellow money for those of you that are interested in the markets and having an active managed portfolio that makes money tactically. Like, you have to be tactical in this current day environment. No longer can you just say, I'm going to just hold Tesla, hold Microsoft, hold NVIDIA, and buy the QQQs, set it, forget it. And let me tell you, you probably don't even need a financial advisor. All you can do is just buy QQQs. You could buy the SPX, the S&P 500. You can do the Dave Ramsey plan and buy index fund and invest the rest. Man, that dude's a clown, man. So if you've been Dave Ramsey, give me a call. I'm here to help you. I think he's great at debt consolidation, but it stops there. Can't give investment advice. He recommends red money and literally paying A shares on red money and hoping that the market will continue to rise so that you can successfully retire and have the ability to do what? because when you pass away, all that money is getting taxed more than half. All right. So there is a situation where we can save in a proper bucket. Now, we're going to be talking about retirement. We've gotten a lot of phone calls on Social Security lately. We've gotten a lot of phone calls on, hey, I have this 401k, I have this IRA, but I got $4 or $5 million in it. And I'm looking at a client on Zoom, on EI, saying, Mr. Handsome, you don't have $4 or $5 million in your 401k. You're lucky if you have half of it. Because here's the deal. You don't know the taxation on it. You haven't paid taxes on it. And the government determines when and how you should retire. More importantly, there's something called Social Security where they're going to dictate your full retirement age. Now, your full retirement age is based on what they say it is. And if you don't know what it is, then all you got to do is go to ssa.gov and figure it out, or just Google or internet search, whatever internet browser you're comfortable with. Just go in and just say, what is my FRA? And you type in your date of birth, and they'll tell you, oh, you're 66 in 6 months, or 67, and now it's going to 68. So basically, they're going to dictate when you need to take Social Security. The fact of the matter is, there's an article out there. Just recently, guys, we see an article that says how retirement has changed. So age 65 now feels like 45. Guys, they're saying that Americans are living longer, that life expectancy is estimated to be 2060. By 2060, the age of 85 and a half. So reports Guardian Life Insurance Company. Key factors for happy retirement: volunteering, socializing, continue to work at least a little. It is important to plan ahead, fulfilling potential long retirement and the means to pay for it. Retirement is not what it used to be. Life expectancy will increase by 6 years in 2060 to age 85. So right now, I digress, but right now, basically what we're getting at is that not only are you going to have to prepare for all the ebbs and flows of the markets, be extremely proactive on taxation as well as healthcare, but now you're living longer and your money has to last a lot longer. This creates a huge burden on many retirees, simply for the fact that they're going to be chasing returns. And the only mainstream way most advisors will say is that you need to invest in red money, that you're going to have to buy risky assets to keep you in front of the curve. And with inflation just going crazy, guys, this is very, very important to understand this. Having a pocket of money that you can protect your principal and still grow with the index, because I believe the indices will still grow, or else we won't have in America. Like the S&P 500 will grow, the NASDAQ will grow based on technology. But the way that we accumulate our funds are changing vastly. I'm telling you, from my experience of doing this for over 20 years, the best way to accumulate wealth is going to be on insurance contracts. I'm talking about green money solutions. Because the index that you want to be in, like the S&P 500 as well as the QQQs, the NASDAQ, if we can extrapolate the returns, a good portion of those indices that are already going to go up 74% of the time since the Great Depression, if we can get a portion of that, and I'm talking 30 to 70%, depending if you get a bonus, if you want a fee, if you want no fee, there's different variations. But if we can just average 40 to 50% of whatever the index returns and keep those profits in account where it never goes down, and we have no fees, guys, I'm telling you that your retirement will last longer. If we're getting a 7 to 12% compounding return and only taking 4 to 6% out a year, you have a net gain of anywhere from 3 to 4% that continues compounding while you are literally in income phase. And we are never touching our principal. It's what it's designed to do. It doesn't happen all the time. But what I tell you what will happen all the time is the stock market eventually will come down when you least expect it. Remember, the passive pay the penalty. If you're passive and nonchalant and cavalier, oh, the stock market, blah, 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 NVIDIA will never go down. Tesla will never go down. The S&P yields, 16.3% over the past 50 years, and it'll never go down. Don't make that mistake, because guess what? It will go down, and it'll go when it's down, when it's inconvenient for you, AKA in your 80s when you can't go back to work. So what I'm saying is to build this retirement is to protect it and to get green money in your portfolios of some sort. I'll show you plenty of examples, but we're not really worried about the markets, because if you are worried about the markets, that simply means that you have way too much money in red money. You have way too much. You don't even have a bucket of money where you can rely on, that your principal is protected, that you can go to bed at night knowing, hey, I got X amount in green money, the 20, 30, 40%. While that is growing and taking risks professionally, I have this bucket of money that's going to be laddering my retirement, that's going to be locking in gains every single year. Every time the S&P 500 goes up on my anniversary, I'm going to be locking in those gains, creating a compound paradise that continues to compound and compound. I'm telling you, for me, I was 40 years old when I started my green money account, put 100 grand in, and by the time I'm 60 years old, it's supposed to be worth over 4.2 million on just one of the accounts. The goal is, if you can just stack away these accounts every single year, save and stack away, this is going to be better than your 401k, in my opinion. The 401k is nice because you get that free money, but after that free percentage, it's not worth. Like if you make 100 grand, they match 5%. All right, so only put $5,000, and they're going to put $5,000. The more you put in, the bigger the problem you're going to have come Social Security time, where they're going to own you by the you-know-whats. They're going to pull you by the short hairs, man, because you don't even own the money in that account. And more importantly, when you take Social Security, all that money counts towards the calculation of your Social Security. So be very cautious on where you are saving your money. You want to save your money in Roth-based accounts. And I'm even queasy about that, because the government can change what tax-free means in the future. I just don't trust it. You pay the taxes now, but it is an IRA. The IRA is written by the government. Again, why I like green money, because it is protected in a privatized contract that has a guarantee on your principal. And God forbid the insurance company goes belly up, you're still protected by reserves in your state, as well as another insurance company protecting you. And you also have state laws, and not just federal laws protecting you. So they're state chartered, and they have a lot of stringent requirements based on whatever state you're in. So it has a beautiful layer of protection. And this is when we start making serious money, guys, when the stock market is collapsing and our clients are getting in, or they're resetting at these current prices, and they're only getting the upside. And I want you to experience that, because it's a great feeling knowing, hey, the stock market is down, my anniversary is up, I'm getting a zero. God forbid I was in a mutual fund, I would have been down 15%, but I am only negative zero. I'm negative nothing. I didn't make anything. And then boom, your reset starts at that point in time. And right now, if it's restarted right now on April 8th, baby doll, you just locked in some awesome principal protected pricing. And when the market does come back up, you're going to make all those gains based on your participation rate or cap spread, whatever strategy that you utilize. We are good at what we do, so we always maximize the best strategies inside of these contracts so that you can be blessed and benefited, and those interests can be locked in and protected. It's that simple. So we've been highly effective in these indices and picking the right indices to help grow your accounts on the green money side. But you just have to give us a call. You have to make sure that this is right for you, that you have the liquidity. You have to have at least 20,000 to start one of these contracts. You can pull it from the bank. You can have as high as $1.5 million. They can pull it in a bank. I get those calls all the time. People move $1 million, pull it right out of their bank account because the money in the bank is not safe. You don't even own the money in your bank. Don't take my word for it. Go ahead and do an internet search and say, hey, do I own the money in my bank? Technically, yes. Technically, no. I've done it so many times ad nauseum. Do it yourself. Pause this video and ask your Grok or ask your OpenAI or your ChatGPT, whatever you'd like to use, or uncensored AI, and ask them, do I own the money in my bank? And I think you'll be shocked if you haven't done it yet. And I'm here to tell you that your account has been forfeited to the bank. You only have the right to withdraw should the bank have liquidity to give you your money. But the moment liquidity goes belly up, they have the right to do what's called a bank bail-in. This has been a commissionable item since 2010. They've enacted this and commissioned it. So in order to avoid that, you need to move these funds out of FDIC and NCUA-based bank accounts and purchase private contracts, particularly with life insurance companies, because they have dollar for dollar reserves if they're A-rated. They also have a reinsurance company that has dollar for dollar in reserves. There's even some B companies that are pretty decent. We try not to do B companies, although some of them are really, really good. We like to stay with the A-rated carriers because of those reserves. But how many of you are literally in your bank account with not knowing any of this stuff and have millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and don't even know that you don't own the money in your bank? That's a sad place to be. Do not be suckered into that, guys. I promise you it's not going to end well if there ever is a liquidity crisis like we're seeing now. We saw a liquidity crunch right now. We see the threats of the water lockdowns, the energy lockdowns. There's going to be bioweapon tick vaccines, and all this nonsense. They're going to find different ways to lock you down. So we need to be stewards of our own domain. We need to be stewards of our own money. We need to be proactive, learn hand-to-hand combat, get ammo, get solar panel generators, get seeds, get your bunker ready if you have the means to get one. Because this is not financial anymore. This is like, hey, we need to prepare because these people could just nuke us anytime. And I'm not fearful of dying, but we also need to prepare. We need to prepare financially, spiritually, economically, as well as humanely and environmentally, I would say. So that is my word, is that markets will go down. We'll see a market rally here probably this week of ceasefire. People are going to go, oh, yeah, I knew Trump was going to do the best, and he's the best, and we're winning, and the market's up. And then he's going to come crashing right about down, boy, like we say in the South. Yes, sir. So be very, very careful here, guys. As I pull up, if you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. So I wanted to actually change gears here a little bit. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. when they say peace and safety, the sudden destruction comes. And what did we see here? The bro investors, the big media, we just had this 2-week ceasefire. And then boom, I read that scripture literally after I was recording here. And how prevalent and how relational is that? Applicable is the word I was looking for. How applicable is that verse? When they say peace and safety, the sudden destruction comes. And here we are, Israel is bombing the crap out of Iran. And it causes a lot of problems. It causes a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the red money space. If you have stocks, people bought stocks thinking that, hey, the market's back up, let's go. Tesla's going up. And there's just going to be more volatility. So, now they're opening up the Hormuz Strait. Who knows what's going to happen in 2 weeks? But what I will say is that none of this is going to get resolved in 2 weeks. You guys know this. And there's going to be a lot of back and forth banter. There's going to be a lot of hype. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty. So what I'm saying is that it is time to protect your money more than ever, because you don't even know what's coming up next. Like, what is the next event going to be? What's that going to look like? And you have to quantify, like, is this money that I have at risk? Is it for risky investments? Is it for investment planning? Great. If that's cool, then this is not a recommendation, but just buy an index fund. Buy an index fund and hold it out if you have the time. If you want the returns, buy the QQQs, buy SPXL, buy the NASDAQ. SPX is going to be the one that tracks the S&P 500. It's going to average over 15% a year. Also, you're going to be highly correlated because it is the index. You are the index. You can't lose to the index because you are the index. IWM will track the Russell 2000. If you want it leveraged, you can get TNA in this 3 times. If you want the S&P straight, then you buy SPX. If you want double leverage, it's VOO. If you want triple leverage, SPXL. If you want to short the S&P 500, you can buy SOO, or you could literally just buy XPXS. If you want to buy the volatility index, you can simply buy what's known. You can't buy the VIX, but you can buy VIXC. And let's take a look at that real quick because I haven't seen it in a few weeks. The VIX is showing us a little bit of drawdown, meaning the market's going up. Now, this is on a daily. This is a 4-hour. And for those of you that are on audio, I know you can't see this, but we see a massive retracement on the volatility index. This is the ETF that tracks the actual index. Its low right now is going to be around 29.55, and it's going to range over to 38.52. The average trading range on the VIX is $2.39. Currently, right now, it's at 31.17. It's coming down. And look at this bad boy, our momentum indicator. We see how it's reading this low here, close to this line. It should pop back up. So we'll see more market correction very shortly. If once that starts to go up, we'll see market correction like you would never seen before. So we have VIXI, but also I want to just point out the obvious. The main bad boy is the S&P 500. So right now we see some growth on a 4-hour chart. I'm gonna go to my daily. I don't make any like recommendations on a 4-hour. On a daily, I start to actually, I don't make any recommendations at all on this podcast, but I start to get my bias from our daily and our weekly and a 4-hour. Once they all align on the same time frames, I'm able to look at it and kind of navigate where the price should follow. So we got a buy signal on my options indicator on the 31st of last month. So just a few days ago. And we're losing some momentum here on the S&P 500 that we had to sell, but that was just on a daily. And let's go on a weekly here. So we got a buy signal on a weekly, which is powerful. Right now, the index is at 6,756. Average trading range is 101 on the S&P. So 100 points, it could go up on a day-to-day basis as it's up $138. So I don't really care for these hype based surges, right, based on the news, because it will come down even faster. One little inclination of anything going wrong, it will come down faster. And if you don't take profits, then that's when the problems start to happen. So just wanted to keep it real with you guys, and just know, look, this is red money. This is how red money works. It is completely manipulated. There's a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers, but right now there's more buyers than sellers. But the overall trend, in my opinion, because we're having death crosses forming very shortly, is that we will see a correction in the market. I know it sounds interesting for those of you that are following oil. I'll pull up oil right now. So yeah, oil's losing a little bit of momentum because of the straight opening up for 2 weeks. So we'll see this massive flow that are going in. Massive flow. And honestly, I don't trust it. This is on a weekly. I'll show you the daily. Daily will have me be more exaggerated. And now we start to see clearly on that daily that we're losing momentum on crude. So the price of crude is actually going down on the futures market. So that's pretty interesting. We were down about 17%. Yeah, so crude oil shot down to $95.61. Man, do we see some relief on the pump? Down $14 today, down 13. So we'll see a massive drop off once they fix this debacle with the Strait of Hormuz. You should see this bad boy come, and this is going to be a good short position soon. Not now, but soon. For those of you that are trading the markets, this is not investment advice, but we should start to see that crude oil will have a massive drawdown, possibly to 65. If we can get a lot of momentum coming here, it hits this Bollinger Band and show signs that we are going to hit the 200-day moving average, we could see actually a death cross, if anything, if it actually does work out. So we'll start to see oil prices tank. And if you got an SUV you're trying to sell, I would wait. I will wait a few weeks, because now those demands for the big trucks will start to come back up once oil prices start to come back down. But it's probably safe to say that we should see, if everything works out, we should see $81 on crude. So that would drop our gas prices down by 40% very, very quickly. So just to update on that. The other thing I wanted to mention, guys, is that a lot of you simply are calling and you have money in the bank and you just want to collect some interest. One of the accounts that I do like, this is a green money account. It's based off the QQQ index. It's not the actual QQQs, but it's a growth index that utilizes the QQQs. And so what they do is they go from cash to QQQ, cash to QQQ. We're going to make 100% of this index for no cost to you. So if you're following the NASDAQ and you're a long-term investor, or maybe you're 30, 40 years old and you want to put money away so that you have a retirement in the future, there's a fund in the green money space. It's option 3, where it's projecting about, on a low end, 9%, 9.5%, on the high end, over 15%. So if you can make 9 to 15% in a safe bucket of money that utilizes this index year by year, those gains will be locked in. All you got to do is go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill your information out for option 3. If you're younger and if you have time in your hands, maybe you don't have a lot of money, but you have time, you only need one or the other. Money, a lot of money, or less time, or a lot of time and less money, because time just compounds everything for you. So with that being said, I want you to reach out to greenmoneysolutions.com. You can put your information there. Also, if you're interested in me looking at your portfolio personally, I'm offering this because I'm hiring other advisors. I had one advisor that found another career, and we've been backlogged, hiring more staff because the calls have been overwhelming, and we want to help everyone. But in the next few weeks, I'll be personally taking all the calls. So if you want me to specifically to look at your account, then reach out to CortezWM.com or call us 813-448-3446. Don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel, our Spotify, Rumble, and now Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on audio, I appreciate it. I'm trying to be more cognizant of our audio listeners, because a lot of what I do is on visuals. So if you have the time, go to Scriptures and Wall Street on a visual platform like YouTube or Rumble, and you can see what I'm talking about. But if you would like a telephonic, consultation, we can cater to that too. I'm all open for anyone that needs help. I want to be here to serve. And we want to make sure your investments align with your values. It's important to have an advisor that believes in what you believe in, academically, medically, politically, economically, and socially. So with that being said, guys, don't forget to get your peptides from getmeleanusa.com. You can go over there, get fit, get lean. That stuff is awesome. And I also love the Calm. It calms you down from a stressful day at work and you're trying to get some rest. That stuff is amazing. So you can sleep better, you can lose weight, and you can get your mind right, as well as burn fat and build muscle. So go to getmeleanusa.com. Amazing American-made products that uses animal peptides as well as plant-based peptides, and shipped to your door. You can cancel anytime. It's auto subscription, and everybody just loves it. So get you some, and you can, all the proceeds, I make enough to buy a cup of coffee, maybe a dinner, but it does help. It does help with the cost of running this podcast. So I appreciate any help you guys can do there. Just use my link at getmeleanusa.com, and I absolutely love all you guys, and I'm here for you. So don't give up. Keep Christ first and keep pressing on. Have a great day, and we'll talk this weekend. Bye-bye. So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent, and we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses. And I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership, is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural, groundbreaking peptides. What your body demands, what your body needs to release those fat stored cells, to build muscle, to gain your physical being back to where it's naturally supposed to be. We're not talking about big pharma saying we're going to come out with the weight loss drug. We're not talking about losing muscle. We're talking about gaining muscle, gaining your physique back, controlling your appetite, giving you the edge that you need to help you get your body back in check the way God intended it to be, by using his resources with America First products, with America First company that aligns and believes in what you believe in. Introducing GetMeLeanUSA.com. Get in. This is going to be groundbreaking, huge business opportunity, as well as a huge groundbreaking technology that is going to change the landscape. So I know good things before I see it, and I highly recommend you get in. All you got to do is click the link below and get you some fit, get you some lean, and get fit and get lean. This is not going to do everything. Of course, diet and exercise, you continue your walking, continue your protein intake, but man, does it make it a whole lot easier to get in shape. Look at me, I've lost 60 pounds, but this is actually fundamentally a great recipe to get back in shape. And I can personally attest to the amazing effects of this product. So go to getmeleanusa.com. You won't regret it. You can cancel anytime. They're affordable, and yet they're effective. And you are supporting our show. You're supporting yourself. You're supporting a mission. There is an affiliate program attached to it if you would want to share it with your friends and family. There's a whole nother opportunity there. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out.